From a wide range of barber courses to educating ex-military personnel, my name is Connor and today I speak with Michael Kontos who tells us all about the London School of Barbering. Michael, how are you?
I'm great, thank you, Connor. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks mate. Thanks for sitting down with me today. So we're going to be talking about you and the London School of Barbering. I'm really excited. So first things first, nice and easy. What can you tell me about the London School of Barbering?
All right, so London School of Barbering is a school that's dedicated to teaching people how to cut predominantly men's hair, barbering techniques when it comes to clippers, fading, scissors, you name it, shaving. We teach you at the London School of Barbering. We have a bunch of courses to suit your needs for beginners or advanced people already in the industry that want to come and learn a little bit more.
That's amazing. So I did see on your website, speaking of like beginners and advanced, you do offer like, obviously the beginner courses, then you offer like really niche master courses. What can you tell me about these master courses?
So the master courses is basically an MVQ level 3, where you come and gain a qualification in barbering. It interests a lot of people because there's a lot of barbers out there and a lot of hairdressers out there that don't have a qualification in either hairdressing or barbering. And the MVQ level 3 Masters in Barbering course is able to provide that qualification in just 3 weeks.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm almost jealous that I can't do that myself as easy as that. So obviously there's a lot of history with the London School of Barbering. It's been around for a little bit now. Obviously you're heavily involved. So what can you tell me about the backstory? How did it all come about? How did you come to be involved in it all?
Yeah, sure. So I was working within the industry since 2006, hairdressing. And then I went on to teaching in further education colleges, teaching for other barber academies. And then one day it dawned on me that I feel that I could do this differently and better. There was a bit of a gap in the market back in 2011, 2012 when I was kind of thinking about starting it. That gap was, merging the scissor work and the clipper work together. Obviously, you had your hairdressers that were brilliant with scissor work, and then you had the barbers that were obviously fantastic with fading. But at that same time, you kind of saw that US influence come over to the UK, and that's when you started seeing the fades taking off. So with that, I was fortunate enough to have a really good business partner who joined on this journey together with me. And in 2012, we started off the London School of Barbering, and it was an instant success. What we preached in our academy was a good structure, methodology, discipline, and to be able to do that, we had to have fantastic trainers, great educators that were dedicated, passionate, and had the attention to detail. But along with that, we had to provide an abundance of practice for our students. What I mean by that is like have lots of models and clients coming in to be able to practice on. So what we did differently was to treat our models like paying clients. Even if they weren't paying, we treated them like, they were paying clients. We did thorough consultations. We made sure that they were looked after throughout the service, and most importantly, we made sure that they were happy with their haircuts at the end. And most of the time, they were.
Brilliant. So you really are emphasizing that kind of like real world experience. So it's not just like coming in and learning; it's actually working in a barbershop environment. I think that's actually what Kip Kai said when I interviewed him before. He said it's very much like that. So speaking of Kip Kai, you've actually got a few ambassadors under your belt now. You've got Charlotte from the Gent Store. You've got JJ Savani, who I've worked with before. He's a lovely guy. You got James Lunn. So if I were a barber, and I'm like thinking, hey, I want to get involved in the London School of Barbering, maybe as an ambassador, or maybe even just to learn a few extra steps. Like, what would be the best way to reach out to you guys and let you know?
So it's really quite easy. I would just reach out to us on Instagram, or you can email straight to us at info@londonschoolofbarbering.com. And we'll start a conversation, and hopefully we could have a relationship that works for both parties.
It really is just that easy. I love it.
Yeah, with that in mind, it would be great to, if you're a very talented and well-known and liked barber in the industry.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the things that I love most about, the barbering industry as a whole is just how people connect so easily. Everyone's just so eager to help out each other and talk and just make friends. It's awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah. You've spoken about how it's grown over the years and it's grown really successful, both nationally and internationally. What can you tell me really about the success of it? Like where do you see it going? How far has it come in the meantime?
Yeah, so obviously the pandemic was a big stumbling block for us. We were flying before then, but then Brexit and the pandemic stops us in our tracks a little bit. So we're just trying to get going again, and once the confidence is put back into the communities, I think we're going to be successful and as busy as we were before. But we've now moved on to a different training source, and we've been lucky enough to be able to offer government-funded training now. So any kind of 16 to 24-year-olds that are looking to jump into barbering or want to give that a go, we can now offer that. But in terms of growth, yeah, we want to still grow. We feel that our product is still much in demand, and we want to be able to offer people nationwide our courses and the delivery of the courses. So we're in Manchester now, in London now, but we have ambitions to branch out into Birmingham, into Glasgow, and different demographics to be able to offer what we do best, and that's barber training.
Great. Have you got any third location in mind at all, or is that under wraps right now? Can I dig into that?
Well, yes. We were looking into Birmingham. Yeah.
Birmingham, nice.
Because we feel that we've covered the northeast. Obviously we've got the southeast covered with London, and we'd like to offer somewhere in the Midlands to to anyone that wants to come and join us.
Easy. And then after that, straight to Australia and France. You'll be branching out in no time, right? Taking over the world.
Australia is crying out for a barbering academy like ours. We've had lots of offers for people wanting to set up an academy in Australia, but it's very hard to kind of quality control. So that's my only reservation in branching out in different countries, is keeping the quality nice and controlled, and make sure that everyone's doing their job. Because as you probably know, if you branch off too quickly, then standards could quickly drop, and we're all about standards at the London School of Barbering, keeping them quite high.
Exactly. Good. So it'll be the worldwide School of Barbering before we know it.
I hope so.
So one thing that I noticed on your page, which really caught my eye, and I actually encourage most barbers to look at if you're interested, is you have a job listings page on there. What was the inspiration behind actually having a job listings page on your website? That's
a very good question. So we when we first had this idea, we obviously identified that there wasn't a job vacancy, a vacancy website for barber specific. There was for hairdressers, and obviously other industries and sectors. And we feel that with so many students qualifying through the London School of Barbering, we thought that this would help them be able to find work. And lo and behold, it has helped people, our students and other people, other barbers in the barbering industry to find work. Because once a barbershop, an employer, posts that job, we get a notification email that goes out to barbers in the industry saying this job is on offer. Would you like to come and work here? And it's not just in the UK. We have barber post people from Dubai, from Australia, places in Europe, in the Caribbean. So yeah, it's become very successful, and we'll continue offering it indefinitely.
I saw you guys also do job listings for ex-military personnel, so you're actively trying to reach out to people who have already served?
That's right. The military offer ex-military to train up to find work when they finish their service. So that has become very successful as we get a lot of ex-military come in and take on barbering. they find it something useful because it's like using their hands and it's a skillful profession, something similar to, not similar to the military, but something they can relate to.
Fantastic. It's always good when you provide more opportunities for people like that, right? That leads me into my next point. So obviously, there's a very strong ethos and mentality of, doing certain things a certain way with the London School of Barbering. What can you tell me about the ethos behind the brand?
The ethos behind the brand, like I said a bit earlier, was to, to have high standard haircuts throughout the UK. We want to up the level of the UK hair cutting industry within the men's sector. We wanted to change the look, the aesthetic of men's haircuts. So you wouldn't just get a great clipper cut, you would get a great scissor cut, because it's a lot of hair that we have on top. So we wanted to educate our clients, whether it be in your local barbershop or in the hairdressers. It's all about education, educating your clients, let them know what suits them best, and just give that a little bit of extra service that we feel may have lacking. And you can see the change in men's haircuts throughout the years, that men are more conscious about the way they wear their hair. They understand what a good fade looks like. They understand what it means to have a good cut on top of their head, so it grows out better, building up the foundations, and having a haircut that actually lasts. We want our clients to return, but we also want a haircut that has longevity and is wearable for a foreseeable time. So our ethos, going back to your question, our ethos is to change the way that people think about cutting hair, and for men, because throughout the years, the ladies, they got a lot of attention. They still get a lot of attention in terms of how to wear their hair, how they should look. Now we want to focus on the men's industry, and it's changed not just with hair cutting. It's changed with the way that men dress, the way that men take care of their skin, cleansing products, and other things that men started to care about.
So you've been in the industry for a long time now, what do you think of the industry as it stands at the minute, and where do you see it going in the future?
Yeah, so, for the last 10 years, it's been, the focus has been on fading and getting people up to scratch with executing really flawless fades. And you can see that, we're everywhere from UK barbers to US barbers, of course, who are the main influence, to, globally. What I'm enjoying now is seeing the focus shift to more cutting with the shears, with the scissors, which is I'm happy to see, because that's where I learned my trade, with the scissors to start with. And I feel like a lot of the skill is with the scissors, because it's a lot harder to cut hair with scissors than it is with the shears. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of skill involved in the clippers, but I feel like the scissors, they need a little bit more time to learn, and they need patience and education. So I'm kind of happy to see a lot more haircuts being used the scissors, and they're not all fades. There's scissor cuts going on, and different sectioning patterns and different ways to wear the hair, and that's where I'm kind of happy that the shift is kind of moving towards, and I hope it stays that way.
So a lot of people do tend to come through to you guys, and get some training and really professionalize themselves. I don't think that's the word, professionalize. We're going to keep it in anyway. So how often do you hear people saying that they're happy with the results they've achieved? What would you say the success rate is? Good
question. So within the course, they have a midway survey feedback. So we get their feedback midway through the course to see if they're enjoying the course, how they're finding it, are they struggling, just checking in on them really. And you have some concerns through the middle of the course, like you should, because it's a roller coaster ride. It's really intensive. We're getting people to train in and become barbers in just 9 weeks. But most of the time, during the end of the course, we see a really high rate of student satisfaction, because they've learned to settle their nerves. They've had enough models to be able to feel confident in their techniques, and they can see throughout their journey they've been supervised, they've been handheld to an extent, but then the hand is released during the end of the course and they've learned to be more independent. So that's really important. If you finish the course feeling independent and that you can go off and do this professionally, then that gives people a lot of belief that they can go and become barbers, and not just about any barbers, you know, highly skilled and trained barbers. And on that note, we just going back to the jobs portal and how successful it's been, a lot of barbering employers, they look to employ our students because they know that they've been trained really well. So, you know, we have lots of barber chains calling us up, messaging us, wanting to work with us, wanting to cherry pick all the best students, and because, you know, because they just want to have good cutters, good people, people with lots of energy that are coming into the industry that are going to essentially be good employees for them.
Top of the line. I love it. So are there any general thoughts you'd like to share to round all of this off today?
So, you know, general thoughts is like London School of Barbering is still gonna carry on doing what it's been doing well for the last 10 years. And we're just gonna be dedicated, devoted to making sure that whoever comes on our course gets good value for money. And we are gonna focus on, like I said, just making sure that our students are satisfied and they get exactly what they paid for out of the course. And hopefully we can carry on building that. And like I said, open up more stores, more academies in different demographics, so everyone can get a chance to come and train with us.
Fantastic. Is there anything that you'd like to plug or promote or share with us before we go today?
I just want to perhaps mention again that we are, you know, providing government-funded courses to 16 to 24-year-olds. So for anyone that can't afford to do our courses privately, then there is an opportunity for you guys to come on, and it's funded by the government. So yeah, it's win-win for everyone.